Welcome, everyone. My name is Shawn Jones, and I'm the CEO of the iNetrepreneur Network. And with me today, I have Jonathan Bengel. He is a business owner, he is a financial guru, he's an author, and he also has his own radio show. Welcome, Jonathan.
Well, hello, Shawn. Thank you so much for introducing me.
So, Jonathan, numbers, tax, IRS, accounting. For some, it's not very sexy. But for others like yourself, you put the sexy back into that. Share with us what you are doing to help others, individuals and companies and corporations.
Well, what I'm doing to helping others is really by recognizing that as a business intuitive, one of my main jobs is to help women healers and intuitives and speakers to get through the darkness of making a lot of money while shedding their taxes and ultimately transforming their lives to business financial freedom. And we do that through a book I wrote called The ABCs of Deductions, an entrepreneur's guide to tax write-offs. We do it through my online program, rapidtaxsavingsformula.com, which is the foundation that a lot of business owners need to know, which is the mindset change, and then ultimately moving into the foundations of business ownership. And then ultimately through what we call the Bengel experience, which is a customized tax roadmap designed to save our clients hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes, not only year after year, but for the lifetime of the business.
When you talk about financial freedom and the mindset in taxes, it all relates. It's kind of like hand in hand. And for a lot of business owners, while they have their strengths and their talents in serving their clients, when it comes to the real core of what I call the business operations, sometimes they're not always strong in those areas. What are ways that you help guide those women, those CEOs of their companies to navigate? Do you set them up on like a checklist? Do you hold their hand on a regular basis? How do you help them specifically?
Once they kind of move into my Bengal experience, this is really where we're giving them personalized guidance. So they have access to me, for example, once a month, where we spend anywhere from an hour to a couple of hours. And we're just talking about their business, right? What are the functions? What are the things they're doing? That kind of stuff, identifying areas that maybe their businesses are hemorrhaging. But eventually the conversations start to turn into, how do we improve our sales? How do we improve, or better yet, how do we mitigate our costs? Or for example, we have a client we're projected to owe about $30,000 in taxes. And so now we're having the conversation of, where do we strategically invest money in our business before the year is over so as to mitigate that tax bill downward and thereby increasing my message? So here's the truth, right? Every business owner is sent here to deliver happiness to the world, to remove sufferings of others. And in order to do that, we need money. Money is the vehicle in which allows us to spread our word. And it turns out that the IRS also understands this principle as well, which is why they encourage us to invest in our businesses so as to keep our money so that we can continue to build out and spread the love and joy and happiness that each and every one of us is born with as an entrepreneur.
When you talk about investing back in someone's business, do you help them with investments? Do you help them set up like 401ks or things designed for the entrepreneur? Do you help them invest in properties that go underneath their corporate blankets?
No, so that's going to be the job of a certified financial planner or somebody like that. And here's the reason why. They're talking about taxes tomorrow. I'm talking about taxes today. And when I talk about investment, what I'm really saying is that part of the mind shift of being a powerful business owner is to stop thinking about expense as the word, but instead investment. So when I say investing in their business, I'm saying things like, how do we increase our sales? Maybe we got to do more marketing. And so we'll put more money into the marketing aspect. Or maybe we need to really think about exactly buying property, for example, creating an Airbnb business or doing something like that, right? So we're taking this cash that we have, this profit that we have, And we are then turning around and putting it back into our business. A lot of times, entrepreneurs forget that our business can be our own retirement vehicle. So, in many ways, no disparage to the CFPs or anything like that, but in many ways, we care about the business being healthy to the point where, should we decide to retire, we have options. We could sell it, we can bring on people, we could turn it into passive income, right? So there's a lot of things we can do inside of our own business, but in order to do that, we must take care of it just like we would our children from birth until old age.
Now, you mentioned that you have a course or a system. Share with us a little bit so we have an understanding of what would be included, how we can even obtain and get a copy of your course.
Yeah, so my course is called rapidtaxsavingsformula.com. And that is where you can go and find out all of the greatness of Rapid. But Rapid, really, what it is, it's what I guide my entrepreneurs, again, my healers, my speakers, my intuitives. I guide them through what I call my SEED method. And it's spelled PSEAD. And it stands for the profit mindset, that we have to understand that we are powerful CEOs. And so I actually introduce them to the number one most powerful CEO that sits before them, which is simply their soul. And then I turn around and I explain to them how to separate themselves from their business, see their business differently, which allows us then to legally take money out of our businesses to pay us. Two ways has a tax consequence. The third way does not. And then we have to have a real conversation about how are we protecting ourselves? Are we using C Corps, LLCs, et cetera? But more importantly, the tax side of that. How is Uncle Sam approved? And how much money does he charge us based on the decisions we're making to protect ourselves? And then we talk about how do we hire the people around us, like our children, our grandchildren, our wives, our husbands, whomever, so that they can do some of the mundane stuff while we go out there and continue to deliver our message. And then we end it with this conversation about documentation, because we can do all of this fabulousness to create savings and protect ourselves and everything. But when Uncle Sam comes knocking, which he will do, he could take it all away if we don't have the right documents in the right place to protect us.
And you have your show, Naked Tax Talk. I know that I've known some of your speakers that have been on your show, your guests, and it really is, in my personal opinion, life-changing when people tune in. Tell us about your show.
Yes. So I like to say that Naked Tax Talk was my unplanned pregnancy that I gave birth to now a couple of years ago. And it was actually at a tax conference. But the thing about this is that Naked Tax Talk came to me through the blue. Like I was just kept getting asked why I was wearing a bathrobe in Vegas at a tax conference. And divine intervention just stepped in, sent me the signal. And I just simply said, I'm the host of a show. And this is my tagline. I'm the host of a show, Naked Tax Talk, where we bear down to the naked truth about our personal, business, and monetary lives. Because what I know to be true is when we improve upon the self, our business, which is a reflection of who we are, improves. And the money, honeys, also improves because it's a reflection of our business and who we are. And when you work with someone like myself, an IRS enrolled agent and a certified tax planner, the taxes go down. And so we really just talk about business owners and who they are, why they do what they do. And then they always ask me tax questions as part of the requirement to be a guest on my show. Because the truth is that we all have the same types of questions. And some of us can have access to experts like me and get the download directly. And some of us simply need to receive it through a show like Naked Tax Talk.
Wonderful. Jonathan, you're also a public speaker, so you speak a lot on panels and in stages and to a variety of audiences. When you are speaking to the masses, what is your number one giveaway? I always call it a giveaway, never a takeaway, but a giveaway that you offer to your audiences to help them right then and there.
Well, so it's going to really depend, as you said, on where I'm showing up in the world. But I always have my default one, and that is called 5 Steps to Business Financial Happiness. And essentially, it's my seed method. And the difference is that I'm going to actually explain it. I actually do explain it, each one, each segment. It's an interactive website actually that you go to and you get to actually read it through different segments. And that's really kind of like this basis of getting us interested and getting us started. And the 5 steps, the real meat is going to come when I talk about the entity choices and why they're structured the very well. I would highly suggest you check out my book, The ABCs of Deductions, An Entrepreneur's Guide to Tax Write-Offs, because when you read this book, you'll see how I simplify the subject of tax. And so this is essentially what I'm doing in the 5 steps of business financial happiness under the entity talk, which is simplifying this because too many of us do not understand the ramifications of the way in which the entity choice is being utilized to unlock, uncover, and reveal true tax opportunities.
Wonderful. Jonathan, it is always a pleasure to have this time together to hear more about how you're helping women, CEOs, entrepreneurs, business owners, speakers, not just on a local level, but on a global level. Jonathan, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Sean.
For those of you who have just tuned in, I have with me Jonathan Bengel. He is one of our panel speakers at the Art of Connection Virtual Global Summit happening on September 21st. You can hear Jonathan speak more about taxes, turning those numbers into something that's magical and sexy. He will also be hosting a series of interactive workshops where you can experience Jonathan's real live touch and how he can help you. If you want to attend this incredible event on September 21st, visit artofconnectionsummit.com.